Imagine for a moment that your body has a silent, tireless gatekeeper, a filter so sophisticated that it processes every drop of blood, every nutrient, and every toxin you encounter. Now, consider the unsettling reality that nearly 1 in 4 adults today is living with some form of liver distress, often without feeling a single symptom until the damage has reached a critical tipping point. You might feel perfectly fine right now, but your liver could be struggling under the weight of habits you've considered completely harmless for years. Before we dive into the hidden culprits behind this internal strain, it is vital to state that this content is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for personal health concerns, as your unique physiology requires a personalized approach to wellness. The question that keeps many researchers awake at night is simple yet profound: what if the foods we reach for in our pantry, the ones we believe are fueling our bodies, are actually the very things compromising our metabolic health from the inside out? We often focus on the liver in the context of extreme habits, yet current studies indicate that the most common, everyday dietary choices are frequently the primary drivers of inflammation and cellular fatigue. We are talking about ingredients that have become so woven into the fabric of modern life that we rarely stop to question their impact. Why are so many people experiencing unexplained lethargy, persistent brain fog, and metabolic stagnation despite their best efforts to stay healthy? Is it possible that your liver is working overtime, not because of a rare condition, but because of a quiet, relentless assault from your grocery list? As we peel back the layers of these dietary myths, we will examine the specific biochemical triggers that transform common snacks into silent stressors. To understand how to reclaim your vitality, we must first confront the reality of how these substances interact with your liver's intricate filtration system. Let's begin by uncovering the first group of offenders that are hiding in plain sight. Imagine for a moment that your body has a silent, tireless gatekeeper, a filter so sophisticated that it processes every drop of blood, every nutrient, and every toxin you encounter. Now, consider the unsettling reality that nearly 1 in 4 adults today is living with some form of liver distress, often without feeling a single symptom until the damage has reached a critical tipping point. Imagine your liver as a high-precision chemical refinery, tirelessly processing every morsel you ingest to ensure your blood remains pure and your energy levels stable. This biological powerhouse manages over 500 vital functions, ranging from neutralizing toxins to synthesizing the proteins essential for life. However, when we flood this internal organ with highly processed ingredients, its sophisticated filtration mechanisms begin to falter under the weight of excessive demand. Research suggests that the modern diet is saturated with specific compounds, particularly high fructose corn syrup and industrial trans fats, which act as direct catalysts for cellular distress. These additives bypass the body's normal satiety signals, forcing the liver to convert surplus sugar into stored fat at an alarming rate. Studies indicate that this rapid lipid accumulation acts as a silent architect of inflammation, slowly scarring the delicate tissue of the liver. When these fat droplets infiltrate the organ, they create a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD, a silent pandemic that often progresses without a single symptom. The liver is essentially drowning in a sea of synthetic ingredients it was never designed to metabolize. As inflammation takes hold, the organ's ability to detoxify your system diminishes, leaving your entire body vulnerable to metabolic chaos. This isn't just about weight gain. It is about the structural integrity of your internal filtration network being compromised by the very foods marketed as convenient. When the liver becomes overwhelmed, it begins to leak inflammatory markers into the bloodstream, triggering systemic health issues that ripple outward. We are witnessing a fundamental mismatch between our ancient physiological needs and the hyper-processed reality of the modern pantry. The transformation from a healthy, resilient organ to one burdened by fatty deposits is a gradual, insidious process hidden beneath the surface of daily choices. By recognizing how these biochemical stressors manipulate our internal chemistry, we can start to see why the liver is the first casualty of a broken food system. Now that we have identified the mechanism of damage, we must pivot to the specific, everyday items that are currently driving this metabolic decline. The first culprit is high fructose corn syrup, a concentrated sweetener that bypasses the body's standard energy regulation. Unlike glucose, which every cell can utilize, fructose is processed exclusively in the liver, where it is rapidly converted into fat, leading to immediate hepatic steatosis. Second, we face the silent threat of trans fats, often lurking in processed baked goods and fried snacks. Research suggests these artificial lipids induce systemic inflammation, creating a toxic environment that prevents the liver from efficiently exporting fat. Third, excessive refined sugar acts as a metabolic sledgehammer, spiking insulin levels and forcing the liver to store surplus energy as visceral fat deposits. Fourth, processed deli meats contain high levels of sodium and nitrates, which studies indicate place an enormous burden on the organ's detoxification pathways, causing cellular stress. Fifth, vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, such as soybean or corn oil, can shift the body toward a pro-inflammatory state, effectively hindering the liver's ability to repair itself. Sixth, energy drinks represent a dangerous cocktail of caffeine and excessive sugar, which research suggests can cause acute spikes in liver enzymes, signaling active cellular damage. Seventh, alcohol remains the most notorious toxin, as its metabolic byproduct, acetaldehyde, directly damages liver cells and disrupts lipid metabolism. Eighth, white bread and refined carbohydrates are stripped of fiber, causing rapid blood sugar surges that overwhelm the liver's glycogen storage capacity, ultimately forcing it to manufacture new fat. Ninth, non-organic produce may carry pesticide residues that force the liver to divert energy away from nutrient processing toward the labor-intensive task of detoxification. Finally, high-sodium packaged meals act as a hidden catalyst for liver fibrosis, as excess salt intake is linked to increased cellular oxidative stress. Each of these items acts like a slow-acting solvent, eroding the liver's structural integrity one bite at a time. By understanding these specific triggers, we move from passive consumption to active protection of our most vital metabolic hub. Yet, knowing the enemies is only half the battle. The real question is how to reverse the damage once these foods have already taken their toll. The liver is a master of stoicism. This is the danger: by the time you feel the sting of true dysfunction, the organ has already been fighting a losing war for a long time. However, your body leaves breadcrumbs. Pay close attention to a lingering, bone-deep exhaustion that sleep cannot touch, a feeling that your internal battery is perpetually draining. Notice the persistent abdominal bloating that seems to defy dietary changes, as if your midsection is holding onto fluid that refuses to dissipate. Even your digestion might betray you, manifesting as frequent, erratic discomfort that you've long since learned to ignore. These are the whispers of a struggling system. Because the liver possesses remarkable regenerative powers, catching these tremors early is your greatest advantage. You do not have to wait for a clinical diagnosis to change your trajectory. The most profound realization is this: healing is not about finding a magic cure, it is about removing the obstacles that prevent your body from doing what it was designed to do. Once you stop the internal erosion, your liver begins to reclaim its vitality, one day at a time. Disclaimer: this content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional regarding any specific health concerns. If you found this breakdown illuminating, take a moment to consider what your body has been telling you lately. We go deep into the science of longevity and the daily habits that actually move the needle. I'll see you in the next video.